His Excellency Dr Imre Lázár, Head of Department for International Cultural Relations, Ministry of Human Capacities, His Excellency Ambassador of India, honorable guests and dear colleagues. Good evening. I welcome you all to Amrita Sher-Gil Cultural Center for celebrating the ICCR Day. ICCR is the acronym used for Indian Council for Cultural Relations, which was founded in 1950 by Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, a very senior leader of Indian freedom struggle, a member of the Constituent Assembly of India, which drafted Constitution of India, a great scholar and a poet. Maulana Azad was born on 11th November 1888 and he was the first Education Minister of India. Every year on 11th November we celebrate as ICCR Day. Besides ICCR, Maulana Azad had also founded certain other institutions like Sahitya Academy, Sangeet Natak Academy and Lalit Kala Academy. The main objective of ICCR is to promote Indian culture abroad and spearhead the Indian cultural diplomacy globally. This embassy is fostering cultural, technical and economic cooperation between India and Hungary through various ICCR and ITEC scholarships. ITEC stands for Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation. The ITEC, we have several alumni of both these scholarship schemes in Hungary. With the inspiration of His Excellency Ambassador of India, it has been decided to launch an Indian Alumni Association of Hungary, comprising of the alumni of ICCR and ITEC scholarships. The purpose of the new association is to forge a better interaction, coordination, bonding between the embassy and amongst the all alumni. The charter of the new Alumni Association will be to promote India wherever alumni are and be the honorary ambassadors of India to showcase Indian prowess in various fields. Hold meetings at regular intervals, participate in India Days, and to contribute articles for our bi-monthly magazine Amrita. We are also contemplating to create a connectivity between the embassy and amongst the alumni through our website and Facebook that is going to take place very soon. In this regard, I also request all the alumni to give any suggestions if they feel they can contribute to that, so that will be welcome. Now I invite His Excellency Ambassador of India to kindly come and welcome the guest.
Good evening to you all. Dr Imre Lázár, our very dear friend, distinguished gathering, ladies and gentlemen. My colleague, Director of the Cultural Center, has already explained to you the purpose of our meeting today, this evening. We are bringing together the alumni of both ICCR and ITEC, and many of you have already traveled to India under any of these two schemes. Some of you may have applied for the scholarships in the current moment, so they would also be eligible to join this alumni group. And some of you would be thinking of India in some way, of going to India, or bringing India somewhat close to, in your thinking, to Hungary. So any of you could form member of this association. It's a very loose association. It's not very tight, not very rigorous, but anybody who has any interest in joining India and Hungary on the intellectual and cultural levels are most welcome. Sorry. I must say, to add to what Umesh just said, tomorrow is a very important day for us, just for information, that we are signing a landmark agreement with the government of Hungary, which is called the Education Exchange Program, under which the most important provision of this agreement will be exchange of scholarship holders given by the governments of Hungary and India. Dr. Imre Lázár is here. He will be one of the main stakeholders in this agreement. We will start with having 200 scholarships given by the government of Hungary to Indian students to come to study in Hungarian universities in various disciplines at various levels. And similarly, we are giving, starting with 35 scholarships for Hungarian students to come and study in Indian universities. This will be above the scholarships which are presently being given to Hungarian students, scholarship holders under ITEC. At the moment we are giving 10 scholarships every year. Unfortunately, these scholarships are showing a rather lower level of utilization. So we have been calling upon the Ministry of External Affairs, who's our immediate interlocutor, to promote these scholarship schemes, because they are very valuable scholarships for us. Perhaps some of you would know that ITEC is a provision basically where India is promoting cooperation in the developing world among developing countries. Under this, we had this banner of South-South cooperation. When we became independent, we wanted to promote and exchange our experiences in India with people of all continents who had been similarly in our situation, who had been just then liberated or going to be liberated across the continents, all over the world. So that was the origin of this scheme, and under this scheme it is so dear to us that India pays everything. All expenses are borne by the government of India, right from the cost of the ticket under which the scholarship holder will travel to India, his entire expenses in India, including his tuition fees, his boarding, lodging, travel within India, and all that. It's a very, very nice, useful way of skill building exercises. Here the government of Hungary is paying a lot of emphasis on skill building. And today India has a vast manpower of its own, a very young manpower of its own, and we are giving a lot of emphasis on our skill building. And along with Indians' skills being built, we want to build the skills of the rest of the world. And ITEC is actually the most important vehicle for building skills across the world. So I would call upon you, and I must say that it is not only through governments that we pass in ITEC. We in the embassy also have some discretion. And if you can check our website, please do. You can click on our website, click on to ITEC, see the all rules and regulations. They have a age limitation on that. And if any of you qualifies under that scheme, please do apply to us. In fact, the higher the utilization, the more scholarships we will get for Hungary. But conversely, if the utilization is low, unfortunately, some of these scholarships will pass on to other countries where they have bigger demand for these scholarships. I do not know why Hungary does not see the importance of this so far, because our experience so far has been a progressive diminution of this scholarship, demand on the scholarships among Hungarian. For whatever reason, I would know. I will request Dr. Lázár to also do the needful in terms of promoting the scholarship scheme in his own Ministry of Human Resources, and if he can pull up our resources, I think we will see better utilization of the scholarships. ICCR scholarships also has been long-standing. We have been giving since the mission began, and ICCR started serving us in terms of fulfilling our cultural requirements. And many of you, I am sure, have traveled to India under this scheme to learn various kind of art forms, dance, music, any other forms also, as well as other studies. For example, for even studying graduation, post-graduation, PhD, ICCR scholarships are also equally valid. And people travel to India under the ICCR scholarships. There we are not taking care of the ticket part, but all other things are taken care of. Hospitality, boarding, lodging, tuition, everything else, except the ticket. ITEC gives you the added bonus of the ticket also to India. So that is about these two schemes, as was very rightly mentioned. Why we are doing this India Alumni Association, why we are grouping together both. First of all, to manage two alumni was in a way cumbersome, that you did not know where to place whom, and sometimes there was confusion. We thought of uniting both. Uniting means you will get the numbers. For a country like Hungary, where you may have 40 people on one alumni and another 50 on the other alumni, 90 makes a bigger and better number than 40 or 50. You will understand that. We will have more weight for our alumni within ourselves, within Hungary, and we would like to use the resources which are going to India and getting trained in India. When they come here, what are they doing? Are they pursuing their interest? Are they following up on their courses? What they were doing in India, when they come back here, where are they employed? What are they doing? In what way are they benefiting themselves and benefiting the government, benefiting the community? That is also of interest to us. Because here, please note that Government of India invests a lot of financial means as well as resources, puts the best institutions of India at the disposal of the students who are going to India, who are studying in India. So all that finally comes down to a responsibility. And the responsibility is a shared responsibility. A shared responsibility between two parties. And here the parties are Hungary and India. And we solely take up this responsibility with the assumption that you take your responsibility as well. And your responsibility is to see that what you learned in India is not forgotten. You pursue that interest in you, in whatever way. We are having various schemes now here. We are having various festivals, various India Days, various kinds of teachings. We teach yoga, we teach Hindi, we teach music, dance, and our teaching process is expanding. We are giving more and more such teaching provision here in this center. People come here, they learn. We are giving, film club is expanding. We are putting more and more resources into that. Just in about a week's time, we are having a 10-day film festival for all of you. We are showing the best of Indian films at that time. So this way, all of you can benefit out of that. Please let us know if you have any other ideas, because what happens is we all welcome you, you come, you take part in our functions, but when you go back, there is silence. There is silence from your side. It seems to me that it is all the time we are doing the talking. You are good listeners, no doubt, but sometimes listeners can also be talkers. So listeners can also engage in some kind of a dialogue process with the embassy. It will help us. It will definitely strengthen our arms in promoting the cause of this alumni. Not only what the director mentioned, not only in linking up among yourselves, but linking up among countries. For example, in each of our missions in the different European countries, there are similar associations being built up. So why not have this association as the mouthpiece of Hungary to deal with similar associations in other countries of Europe through this association, through our embassy, which will of course network with other embassies. Suppose you need to have some kind of contact with some association is in UK or France or Germany or in other parts of Europe, then you can come to us, we can put you in touch with your counterpart bodies in those. The information we will convey to you. We will give you the information and then you can exchange notes. And sometimes what happens in these groups is, particularly in ITEC, what happens is there is a miniature world there in that group. Suppose there is a group of 30 people, there are 30 countries being represented in this 30 people. Each member of that group represents one particular country. So at the end of that course, which could be 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or whatever, there are different duration of different courses, each member of that group is well versed with many other countries besides his or hers. It gives you a kind of interactive process, not only interaction with the instructor or with the environment in which you are placed, but also interaction among yourselves, interaction within the group. So that if 10-15 countries are there in one group, there are 10-15 cultures also in that group, in that classroom. And the idea of doing this also is to exchange your notes on your different cultures. I was in India just a little while ago. I just came back yesterday. I had a very, very nice, frank conversation with your new ambassador, who's just taken office there, Mr. Bush. He's your ambassador in Delhi. I had a very nice conversation with him. He's very interested in promoting exchanges between India and Hungary. He told me that, how do we do it? Let's put our heads together. I said, by all means, we'll do it. We have a very good active center. You have a very good active center. In fact, the Hungarian center, in fact, I missed an invitation to go to the center the day I was leaving because I didn't have time. There was a wonderful exhibition going on in the Hungarian Culture Center. There were people who were waiting for me. They had invited me, but unfortunately I couldn't make it because I was to get a flight and come and all that stuff. But the Hungarian center is as active as our center here. With two functionally active centers, we can do a lot. We can promote a lot among ourselves, among building exchanges, because people know each other. But the tragedy is that even today in India, Hungary is less known. And I'll be frank with you, Hungary is less known in India in comparison to many other countries of Europe, including countries in Central Europe. You'll be surprised. Why? Why should Hungary be less known? Why can't we use the resources which go to India, get trained, and speak out loud and clear about what they did in India, what is India, what India means to them, and what it means in terms of fostering bilateral exchanges between India and Hungary. What you need, whatever you need, as far as our resources go, we will provide you. But I want Hungary to be known by at least half the Indian population, if not the full. Let me be not over-ambitious, but let some part of our population know Hungary. Beyond Delhi, if you go down to our other part of India, not much is known about Hungary. You have a consulate general, no doubt, in Mumbai, which is just established. You have a trade office, which is part of the consulate. You have a very active, dynamic ambassador now. He says we have a full complement there, full staff. So what then lacks? Why should information be lacking about Hungary among people of India? Why can't we do better PR for Hungary in India and facilitation for people across the board from India to come to Hungary? We, from our side, we facilitate visas, we facilitate information. We are running a business facilitation center. We are running a Ayush information center. We have any number of people coming to us. We have an open door policy. Our embassy is always open. In fact, we are having an open house. Just next week we are having an open house. The open house is of course meant for people of Indian origin, Indian nationals, etc. But over a period of time we can expand it to non-Indians also. The idea is to basically have a dialogue with them, to get to know what do they want. Do they want anything more from us? In that case, what do they want? It does not restrict somebody who has gone to India once. He can go to India again. There are many schemes. Suppose he has gone under ITEC. We can send him if he is a journalist, for example. We have schemes of sending journalists to India under other schemes. Suppose he wants to pursue something in music or dance, though he has gone under ITEC. We can send him under ITEC, under ICCR program. So it does not only say that you go to India once, or your interest in India will last only one time. No. You can pursue your interest and you give us your plans, your projects, send to us. We will examine them. If they invite merit, we will go ahead with that. And there are many schemes of the government of India, and particularly India and Hungary are today poised for a growth in our relations. How will relations grow if people-to-people exchanges do not? People-to-people exchanges need to grow for the growth of our relations. Only politically, our government, that is only a part of the story. We want to build a complete story. And in the complete narrative of our bilateral relations, our people-to-people exchanges play a very vital role. So this is our request to you, this is our suggestion, and please let us follow it up. Today, I, of course, joined the director in supporting the formation of the India Alumni Association. You are all, by the very nature of your interest in India, part of the alumni, and we welcome suggestions from each one of you, all of you who are here, and all those who are not here and who you know have interest in India. They are all part of this. So with these words, I thank you all for giving all your time, and I would now invite Dr Imre Lázár to speak a few words to us on behalf of the government of Hungary, and then I believe we have a nice little Odissi dance program for all of you. Enjoy the evening. And finally, not to let you go hungry out of here, hungry, not Hungary. We have got some refreshments for you. So enjoy the evening. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, Ambassador Malay Mishra, Director of Amrita Sher-Gil Cultural Center, Mr Umesh Kumar, other diplomats of the embassy, friends, all the alumni of ICCR and ITEC. First of all, I would like to thank for this invitation. I feel fine among you. So I would like to congratulate, first of all, on the occasion of launching the Indian Alumni Association. Let me start with some personal experiences. Although I was not lucky enough to be a scholarship holder of ICCR or ITEC, I had the privilege and was lucky enough to work for those who had the scholarship. During my 11 years in India and several other ones spent in government administration here in Hungary, I could follow and I could help those who were lucky to have this opportunity. India in itself is a place of scholarship and study from the very beginnings. There were the rishis who were surrounded by disciples. There were gurus, and there were disciples of these gurus. All the Indian art is an endless chain of Guru Shishya Parampara. That means the teachers and the students who become again teachers and teach the students of the next generation. India is today also offering a lot. There are great universities, and I'm very proud to be an alumnus of the Jawaharlal Nehru University, where I could meet marvelous professors and I could learn a lot on international relations and international studies. I could witness several Hungarian talented young artists and scholars or later scholars who went to study to India. They were disciples of Pandit Ravi Shankar, like András. They were disciples of Pandit Debu Chaudhary and other great artists. Some of them studied Bharatanatyam dance and other species of dances like Panishomi and others. And they became great artists, also in India, and brought this great art to Hungary, and brought the knowledge they acquired in India to Hungary. I think this learning is the most important fact in this matter, because international relations, cultural diplomacy is learning. We are learning from the other and turn this knowledge to the benefit of our own country. So that's why this scholarship scheme is very important. And the ICCR is a great institution to manage and to help this movement. For 11 years I spent in India. I was almost everyday guest in Azad Bhavan, the headquarters of ICCR. I met the DGs, the deputy DGs, and all members of staff. We greeted each other from a great distance. We had great projects together with their help. A lot of Hungarian artists could perform in India, and we could bring through ICCR a lot of Indian artists to Hungary. There were a lot of scholarship holders I just mentioned, who could have the opportunity to learn a lot. And I think ICCR, with its many-sided activities, with sponsoring performing art projects, researches, with the scholarship programs, with sending Hindi teachers abroad, with opening the network of Indian cultural centers, and many similar research publication and organizing conferences, publishing books. All these activities help the people all around the world to know better India. And maybe it's not by chance that the system of Hungarian cultural diplomacy, after several experiments and failed experiments, concluded to a very similar pattern like the ICCR. We have the Balassi Institute, which is also responsible for scholarships, because the National Scholarship Board is there. It maintains the system of Hungarian cultural centers abroad, sends cultural diplomats to embassies, special cultural counselors to embassies, is responsible for teaching Hungarian as a foreign language, sends lecturers and guest professors abroad, and organizes summer camps and language courses for learning Hungarian, publishes books, organizes exhibitions, events, etc. So I'm very happy that maybe from the Indian example we could work out a very good system of Hungarian cultural diplomacy. But what can the government do? Your Excellency, this was your question, to make things even better. India and Hungary signed an educational and scientific and cultural exchange program quite early, in '62. This was only the beginning, the starting point, and this frame agreement, which contains only general statements, but gives a guarantee the willingness and readiness of both governments to fill these quite broad frames with content. For these reasons, the two governments have decided to sign regularly exchange programs, cultural exchange programs and educational exchange programs for a certain period of time. So that's what we do right now, that after a period of a previous educational exchange program, we sign a new exchange program just tomorrow. So, Your Excellency, I can report to you that you are most welcome to sign this program at the Ministry of Human Capacities. And everything has been prepared for that. And I think this program is a milestone, not only because it provides several things which has not existed before. It encourages universities and other educational institutions to establish direct relations, to organize projects together on their own, so it's only an umbrella, it's a frame which should be filled by them. But in addition to that, as His Excellency has mentioned, Hungary offers 200 scholarships for Indians to come to Hungary and study in Hungarian institutions of higher education. And we are also grateful that India offered 35 scholarships for Hungarian students. What can we do that we utilize these possibilities? First of all, what we will do in the near future that we participate in Indian educational fairs. It will be just at the end of this month and the beginning of the next month that in 3 cities of India, European educational fair will be organized. EU countries will go there and advertise their possibilities. And I think among the others, among the 28 ones, we have very good chances if we step out and advertise these 200 possibilities. However, what can we do that Hungarians would go to India and utilize these 35 possibilities? I think, first of all, we have to make good publicity for the agreement we are going to sign tomorrow. However, we should not leave it only to the Balash Institute and the National Scholarship Board, which will put on their website the possibility, and if someone finds it, it's okay. But if not, we should not be ready with the thought that it will be not utilized. We should not accept this. I think what we should do is to turn to the public and publicize these opportunities on the one hand, use the modern media on the second hand, and use the private contacts. And I think this new association of alumni of India will be a great opportunity to tell those. I think it should not be a closed club. It should be something very open, because you who experienced what India means and what it means to study in India, what is that great intellectual joy and how richer we have become, that we gather this experience, to give this experience to the others, to share this experience. I wonder if you have experienced that you met somebody, maybe a foreigner, who knows the same persons whom you know, or visited the same places that you did. I think it's a kind of beginning of a friendship, something very common among us, that we had the same great experience, an experience which moved us to our bottom of our heart. I think that is necessary to convey your knowledge and convey all your attitude, convey all what you felt towards India, and let them know how good it is to be part of this experience. So I think as a government, all what we can do, that we provide the frames, provide the conditions, and work to pave the way. Work to pave the way for those who has to walk through the way. Because we government officials cannot do that. We can only provide the conditions. But you and those who will follow you have not only the great privilege to have this experience, but you also have the moral imperator, the moral call to do that. It's a must for you. It's your responsibility, and it's your future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now I would like to request one of the ICCR scholars, Ms. Agnish Pop from National Shicheni Library, to come and share her experiences with us. Please come, Ms. Agnish Pop.
Mr. Lázár, Mr Lázár Imre, dear guest. I was in India with an ICCR scholarship 18 years ago, so please forgive me if I don't speak too much. My field of research of the religious history of India, particularly the Pashupata Shaivism. On this subject, I submitted my thesis and was awarded a university doctorate in 1991. In 1996, I applied for a scholarship under the Indo-Hungarian Cultural Exchange Program, and I was very happy to get the letter from the ICCR with the good news that the government of India had decided to award me a 4-month scholarship. The Jawaharlal Nehru University in New Delhi accepted me as a casual student for history program in its School of Social Sciences. My tutor was Kunal Chakraborty, an eminent scholar of the Puranas. With his help, I managed to deepen my knowledge in my subject, and I could collect further materials for my PhD in the Central Library of GNU, which has a very rich collection on history, religion, and art too. I also could consult with Mrs. Himanshu Prabharai, historian and an archaeologist, and Mrs. Champaka Lakshmi on my research, and they gave me useful advices for my study. With the support of the university, I did study trips to Central and South India, and I managed to visit the cave temples in Ajanta and Ellora, South Indian Shiva temples, and archaeological museums in Bombay and Madras. I could use also the library of the Madras University. This was my first visit to India, and I was very lucky to stay with an Indian professor's house at the university campus. She and her family was very kind for me, and I have friendly contacts with them since then. I'm very grateful for the government of India and the ICCR for the scholarship to spend 4 months in India. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Agnish. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we present before you an Odissi dance performance put up by Ms. Anita Sigeli and her group from Parvati Ensemble. Ms. Anita and her group, please. Thank you.
Hey!